How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Friday Night Draft League. This week we'll be featuring the match between my team, the Boston Red Claws, which is up against the Seattle Sandstorm. Do I know the results of this match? Probably, but I won't be commentating today. Today the commentator will be none other than Solo Salo for the second week in a row. I'll be back with you guys next week, but for now, let's go right into this match.
What is up, beautiful people? I am Solo Salo, and welcome to another featured match for Friday Night Draft League. This is already week 3, and today we're going to have the Boston Red Claws, coached by our very own Kirsch Shaka, battling the Seattle Sandstorm, coached by Obo. And this is a match that I was looking forward to because these are two very experienced coaches. I think they're probably out of all the coaches that we have on the league at the moment, they're either the two that have participated in the most leagues, or at least they're in the top 3. As we see Kurz, this is a man with a plan. Kurz right here is going to start us off, and he's got the Klefki, Mewtwo, Thundurus, Muk, Squawkabilly, and Enamorus, and that's Enamorus in its incarnate form. And then on the other side, we see the Koraidon and the Fluttermane. That's already a strong core, along with the Sandy Shocks, the Arcanine, Lilligant, and Scizor. And we saw that Kurz, he got ready really fast there. So Kurz is coming in with a plan. What caught my attention immediately is that Kurz is not sending in the Mewtwo. So I wonder what he's going to try here. He's got that lagging tail there, so I'm expecting to see some sort of trick shenanigans and sending that lagging tail right over to Obo's way, who's still taking his time with the prep. He's making sure that he's got that plan set in motion, getting ready right on time. So going into what these coaches have done so far, both of them started out with a loss for week 1, but then on week 2, the Seattle Sandstorm were actually able to grab a win. Kurz and his team are still looking for their first win, so it might come right here as we see the start with the Koraidon and the Scizor. Shiny Scizor, always nice to see. And another shiny there with the Squawkabilly. This is an interesting start in my opinion, because I wouldn't expect the Scizor to be right next to that Koraidon, especially when the sun is up. We get the Intimidate right away from Squawkabilly, so that's very nice, because both of the Pokemon on the Seattle Sandstorm side are going to be physical attackers. Usually, you know, we might see a surprise there because Koraidon can do a lot of things, but I think that the Intimidate coming in really clutch there. And looking at Kurz's moveset on that Klefki, that thing is here to be as annoying as possible, because we saw that he's definitely going to be going for that switcheroo. Then he's got the Rain Dance, Prankster Rain Dance to instantly change the weather over to nullify, or at least hinder somewhat, the attacking prowess on the other side. As we see immediately the Thunder Wave, and the Thunder Wave is going to be, it's not good for that Koraidon to be paralyzed, I'll tell you that much. Paralysis is definitely going to be a problem there. And we also see the Tailwind coming up. But immediately we're going to go into the Collision Core signature move off Koraidon. It looks so cool. Squawkabilly takes neutral damage from that, but even with the Intimidate, that was a lot of damage. And like I said, yes, I wasn't expecting the Scizor to stay there, so the U-turn is going to help the Seattle Sandstorm pivot there into something else. We're going to find out what else are they bringing to this match. But I think Curse, he took a lot of damage on his Squawkabilly. but the fact that that Koraidon is now paralyzed and that he's got the Tailwind set up, I think is great for him. So let's see how Obo responds here. He's going to respond with the Sandy Shocks, and that is definitely something that Curse is going to have to look out for, because there we go. Speed is heightened thanks to the Proto-Synthesis. So what is going to happen now? I see the possibility there for a Rain Dance. I see the possibility there for either the Switcheroo or the Foul Play, and it's going to be the Switcheroo going in, trying to make that Sandy Shocks the slowest thing possible. And Curse is just trying to make that Koraidon like not useful at all. Smart move there on the Protect. But look at that. That after the Switcheroo is not going to go through because of the Protect, so no lagging tail. But after this parting shot goes through, that means that this this Koraidon is now going to be at -1 because of the Intimidate, and then going -2 because of the parting shot. Then it's also paralyzed, and I'm trying to see where the offensive approach is coming now from Curse, because I see, oh, that Flare Blitz is going to hurt. Okay, maybe not as much as I thought, definitely because of the -2 there, but Curse has already done a great job debilitating that Koraidon, so now he just needs to get on the offensive here, because he took a lot of damage already on the Squawk ability, and he just took about half of his HP on that the Thunderous, but he's going to just go for another Intimidate. We saw him going there. He's going to be switching back into the Squawk ability. Now what I'm thinking here is that there's no way for Obo to get rid of the paralysis, but he can just switch out and get rid of those stat drops. So I'm guessing that's what's going to happen here, as we see another Intimidate go through, both on the Sandy Shocks and the Koraidon. This Sandy Shocks, yes, the Sandy Shocks is going out. Obo protecting it, saving it for later. That Scissor is actually back out, and now it's not going to be hindered by that Intimidate, but it is going to be hindered by that Lagging Tail, which is not going to have any effect if the Scissor plans to go for things like Bullet Punch. Oh, we do see the Oka Berry. So, oh my god, that was so smart from Curse. So he stole that berry. He says, hey, guess what? That's mine now. That weakens the damage from the Flare Blitz, so I'm guessing this Klefki is already bulky. And then the -2 on the Koraidon made it so that berry, Klefki took barely any damage there at all. It was about a quarter health, which is, it's okay, I guess, but definitely not what Coach Obo was expecting right there. But again, I'm seeing a lot of containment and damage control from Curse, but I'm not seeing him establish any sort of offensive presence here. I'm excited to see what he's going to try to do, but at least for now, the damage that he's been taking here has been very little, other than the one on Skakabilly, who's almost down, but that Protect. And we get another Thunder Wave, so now that Scissor is both carrying a Lagging Tail and paralyzed. As we see the Bullet Punch, like I said, he was trying to get rid of that Squawkabilly, not going to be able to, at least not this turn. But we see another Flare Blitz, this time no Berry. Ooh, and Klefki barely hanging on. Oh no, but the burn! Is RNG going to take that Klefki's life here? Is the RNG going to take down the Klefki this same turn? Barely hanging on, 4 HP. My god, that Klefki refuses to go down. The problem there is that, well, both of the Pokemon right now for the Seattle Sandstorm are paralyzed, but that Tailwind just went out. The Tailwind on Curse's side just went out. We saw that the Scissor does carry that Bullet Punch, so I guess even with with the amount of HP that the Squawkabilly has at the moment, I'm pretty sure that a Bullet Punch, if the Scissor is not paralyzed, is what I was trying to say. If Scissor's not paralyzed, then the Bullet Punch is going to come through and probably take out that Squawkabilly. As we see another Switcheroo, meaning that Curse is just stealing the item. What do we get? We get an Assault Vest on the Klefki. Oh, but the Scissor is paralyzed, so Curse could take this opportunity, yes, to set up another Tailwind. So again, Curse playing very smart in terms of controlling that damage. Oh, but the Squawkabilly is going to go out this time. I am expecting, though, maybe to see the Enamorous here. The problem is that, okay, for one, it's good that the sun is out. Oh, but that's going to be very important. The Clef Key is actually going to go down this time, because I'm expecting the Enamours from Curse to be his main offensive threat here. But the problem is that Scissor is still there on the other side. It's not hindered by Intimidate at the moment. So one bullet punch coming through the paralysis is going to be able to do a lot to that Enamours. The Koraidon, I'm surprised that Coach Obo decided to just keep the Koraidon there. I'm guessing that he's good with having probably Fluttermane in the back as well. And now we get to see if Curse is able to get some offensive presence going on here. As we do see that Terra, oh, of course, I hadn't taken into account the Terra. So that Dazzling Gleam is probably going to be doing a lot. And then, ooh, I like what I'm seeing right now. An Eerie Impulse is going to be going from the Thunderous into that Enamours, which is of course carrying Contrary as its ability. So what that means is that Enamours is going to be getting a very nice boost. I don't think it's going to be enough to take out the Caesar. At least with the Terra, it shouldn't be taking that much damage from Bullet Punch. But Scissor is strong. At least it's not carrying an item anymore. And also the Koraidon is not carrying the Assault Vest anymore. So I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen here as we see the Terra popping up. It's going to be a Terra Ground on that Enamours. I always thought that Terra Ground looks kind of weird. I understand that it's supposed to be like the top part of like an Earth. As we see the Eerie Impulse, there goes the +2, and the Scissor's paralyzed. So, ooh, is this going to be enough to take out the Scissor? No, it's barely doing anything to it. It's not very effective, but at least the Koraidon's out after a lot of struggles for that Koraidon. It's finally going to go down. It got intimidated twice, then it got a parting shot, and it was paralyzed. So I'm pretty sure that the Coach Obo there is happy that at least the Koraidon was still able to take out the Clef Key, which was being very, very annoying. As now we see Curse is going to go for another boost on the Enamours, and it is going to try to take out that. The Sandy Shocks is a threat, but he actually decided to target the Zizor, which I'm guessing he's thinking might be the bigger threat here. I am wondering what it's going to be going into that side coming from the Seattle Sandstorm, because Sandy Shocks, I'm guessing, would have usually attacked with some electricity, but the ground type here on the Terra, and another paralyze. Oh my god, that is 2 in a row for the Scissor, who is probably going to go down to this. That's already a +4. But I'm interested in seeing what the Sandy Shock is going to do here. I would normally bet that it's going to be going for, yes, an electric type move. And it is not enough to take out the Thunderous, who's actually going to be able to get that Enamours probably all the way up to the +6. Now the thing is that yes, look at that, the Photosynthesis with the booster energy. So that is very, very smart from the Seattle Sandstorm to keep the Sandy Shocks and the Fluttermane till the end, because the booster energy, I thought that it was going to be a problem that the sun wasn't going to be up, but just being very, very cautious there, he still decided to give the booster energy to make sure that this Fluttermane is possibly going to be moving first. And yes, we see the Terra, so this thing is probably... Oh, I was expecting the Terra on the Fluttermane, but no, we see the Terra, Grass Terra on the Sandy Shocks, which is pretty standard, actually, because that makes it immune to a lot of things that would normally be very damaging to it, especially ground. As we see Thunderous trying to para, and no, sir, you are not going to paralyze me. Did Curse double down on that slot? No, he actually uses Dazzling Gleam, which is at +4. So is this actually going to be doing a lot to the Sandy Shocks? Ooh, that was a crit, but then a Focus Sash coming through. And now here comes the problem, that the Sandy Shocks is going to be using the Terra Blast. That is grass into ground. So is the Enamours going to be able to take this? No. The Enamours, as powerful as it was getting, is going to go down. So the Sandy Shocks with the Focus Sash coming through for the Seattle Sandstorm. And that's what I was expecting, and that's what I was going to mention just now. The Tailwind is out. So Tailwind being out means that the Flutter Mane with the Proto-Synthesis boost is actually going to be moving first, and Moonblast going right into that Thunder is very, very low HP, and well, Flutter Mane hits like a truck, so that is going to be a GG for that game 1. And well, GG's to both coaches, of course, but very smart there from the Seattle Sandstorm, being able to save that Flutter Mane for when it was needed the most. I always expected that it was going to be Flutter Mane, the one in the back, because Curse was doing such a good job with the damage control. We saw there the Parting Shot, the Thunder Waves, stealing the Oka Berry. But Flutter Mane is just such a beast, and I believe something that was key there was the fact that Coach Obo knew perfectly well when to use that Terra. He was able to get the Terra going on at the perfect time, and then also to just keep Flutter Mane and keep Flutter Mane with the booster energy till the end. Because I thought that the Sun going out there was going to be a huge factor, but as it turns out, it just wasn't. The booster energy made sure that that Flutter Mane was going to be ready for when that Tailwind ran out. Now, I'm very interested in seeing whether the Mewtwo is coming out this time. It's supposedly by the tiers again. I mentioned that last time that I was here commentating. I mentioned how the tiers were like very important here. But I expect to see the Mewtwo coming this time, but maybe not. Maybe Curse just wants to stick with the strategy. No, we do see the Mewtwo coming in this time. It's coming along with the Klefki. So what else is going to come this time? We do see the Muk. I'm not sure what Muk might be doing in this situation, if I'm being honest. I also expect from the other side, I think that the Scissor has to stay, because the Enamorous is too much of a threat to not have Scissor around. We saw that the Sandy Shocks and its Terra came in very clutch, able to take it out. But guess what? No, Curse, I don't see the Mewtwo coming in again this time. So I'm interested in seeing now. I'm very curious as to what adjustments we might see. Remember these are best of 3, of course, so Curse still has another shot to try to make this even, sending us to a game 3. Or Coach Obo and the Seattle Sandstorm can just try to close it out this time. As we see, the lead is going to be the Sandy Shocks this time. So this time we have Sandy Shocks, and no, Curse decided to stick with his guns. Curse felt like he had a shot to go there. And we see a speed. Okay, Photosynthesis going in with the speed. As we see it once again, the Intimidate. That Koraidon is not safe from getting intimidated. We do remember now from game 1 that it did have the Assault Vest. So this time Curse is actually going to go for the just getting rid of that Sun right away. While at the same time, I think we saw there that he was going to be switching out. So again, I think that both of the teams here that have the legendaries, box art legendaries for these games, which are the Koraidon and the Miraidon, are usually going to be in a more favorable position to be on the offensive at the start of the games, just because of how much pressure that Koraidon and especially the Miraidon can apply. So we see that here. We see that Curse is actually trying to play it more defensive. So he's going to be getting rid of the Sun, and he's going to be sending in the Thundurus. Now that Rain Dance, the only problem that I see with that Rain Dance is the potential of the Sandy Shocks carrying Thunder, maybe. As we see the Collision Course, which is not very effective. And after that Intimidate, Thundurus is going to have no problem with that. We do see an Earth Power. Oh my god, that did a lot of damage. Sandy Shocks can be really strong. And now the thing is that Klefki was able to get rid of the Sun. But it cost him almost his entire life. And now we're going to see Curse try to go on the offensive a little bit here. Now the thing is that we did remember seeing again the Assault Vests on the Koraidon. So I'm not sure how much is Thundurus going to be able to do it. Much less so if it's just going to go out right there. And yes, that is a very smart switch. My Pokemon is weak to flying. You're probably going to hit me with a flying move, so how about this? Oh, but I thought that he selected an attacking move. My bad there. Now the Scissor is paralyzed, which it took a double paralysis last time that we saw it. And it's going to be paralyzed again, but it doesn't lose access to the Bullet Punch. We see Klefki with a Focus Sash that it's not going to activate, and we see the Sandy Shocks already taking out that Klefki. It's going to have the lagging tail now, so even if it does get its speed heightened, again, coming in with that Proto-Synthesis once the Koraidon is back in, which I'm expecting to see Koraidon back in at some point, it's not going to be able to be moving before anyone else, because I don't believe Sandy Shocks gets any kind of priority. As we see the Enamorous here, so Curse could start going for that same strategy that we saw last time. Now the thing is that it's a difficult position to be in my opinion, because you have to decide whether you want to get rid of the Scissor, which is going to be able to put a lot of hurt in with that Bullet Punch, or whether you want to get rid of the Sandy Shocks that we already saw was able to Terra into Grass type, perfectly countering the Terra that Curse is carrying on that Enamorous. That is really good prep actually coming in from the Seattle Sandstorm. I like what I've seen so far with that Terra Grass, what I saw with the booster energy on the Flutter Mane. So that's what I was talking about too at the start of this set. I was talking about how these coaches are very, very experienced, and we see that on the prep itself, we see that on the strategies that they're going for right now, as we do see Curse deciding to go for that Terra. So once again, the Terra ground that half Earth on the Enamorous's head. But the problem is that Coach... Ooh, okay, the Eerie Impulse, very smart there, because Curse here saying, okay, so last time you were able to kill me with that Terra and your big, strong attack. However, this time, your special attack is going to be reduced. And now the problem is that, yes, I was wondering if the boost is going... Well, if instead of going for a boost, he's going to be lowering that special attack on the Sandy Shocks, then that means that the Enamorous is not going to be hitting as hard, and Scissor really didn't take all that much damage. Now Curse is going to switch it up. Now he's going to be going for that boost on the Enamorous like he did game 1. Oh, but guess what? Here comes Koraidon. So that means that no more rain, and that means that this Koraidon is not under the effects of any sort of Intimidate. And so yeah, that makes Koraidon very, very strong here. As even like, this is what I was mentioning. Curse used that Terra defensively to try to get rid of the weakness to... Oh my god! I'm trying to go into one thing when a lot is happening. The Bullet Punch still doing a lot on the Enamorous, but look at that. Even through the Assault Vest at +2, that ×4 weakness on the Dazzling Gleam, able to take out that Koraidon in just one go. I am very, very amazed by that. Now you see the problem is that the Bullet Punch has been doing enough to get that Enamorous already to pretty low health. And with the sun up, the Flutter Mane is most likely going to be outspeeding here. So I don't see a way that this Flutter Mane isn't going to just be bringing in the pain for the Boston Red Claws right now. But oh my god, I am kind of in shock, even though Sandy Shocks is gone. I am in shock at how much damage that Bullet Punch is doing, even though it's not super effective. So that's probably Technician boosted plus the stab. And then on this Enamorous, and just being able to get rid of that Koraidon through the Assault Vest. As we see the Protect here coming through, we see Protect on the Flutter Mane coming through, and another Bullet Punch, which is probably going to be enough, just barely not enough. But that is not going to get rid. That is not going to get rid of that Scissor. Yeah, just barely. So just barely surviving on both sides. Curse could really, really use a para here, but he got 2 full paras on the Scissor last game, and so far none in this game. So they're trying to keep that Enamorous alive here, but it's going to come down to the luck factor there. And luck is a strange thing to deal with. And I'm also thinking that the Flutter Mane is probably going to be faster. Like he was trying to protect. And yes, I know that the Flutter Mane is like a win condition here. Flutter Mane is going to go out, in comes again the Sandy Shocks, and that Sandy Shocks is looking pretty. It's sitting at full health right now. And if the Bullet Punch comes through, then that is going to be all for the Enamorous. But no, Protect, smart Protect there, coming in from Curse. And a Thunder Wave, which is going to be, yes, that's what I was thinking of. The only way that the Flutter Mane is going to be safe from that Thunder Wave is to keep the Sandy Shocks in the back. So very, very smart once again there from Coach Oboe. And now, I'm still trying to figure out what is Curse going to do here, because this is kind of a difficult situation. Dealing with Fluttermane in the back is just so difficult. I had to do it a lot of times in trying to use Mono Dragon, so no. Dealing with Fluttermane is not fun. Even less so when it's got that booster energy. But the pairing of the Fluttermane with the Koraidon with the Sandy Shocks, Coach Oboe means business here. As we're going to see the Squawk ability come out, that at least makes it so that Scissor gets another Intimidate. Sandy Shocks doesn't really care about the Intimidate. And what's more so is that, yes, look at that. The Terra coming through, and it's definitely coming through on that Sandy Shocks, so that it wasn't at risk of being hurt by an Earth Power coming from the Enamorers. I like what I've seen so far with Coach Oboe. Finally, we get a full para on the Scissor, but I really like what I've seen with Coach Oboe, where he has been very patient. He has been very, very patient in when to use the Terastallization. My playstyle, I usually just go for it whenever I feel like it. I think I've become somewhat predictable with that, but I am afraid here for Curse, because he was... Oh my god, okay, I forgot about the Terra. Okay, he's safe. I forgot about the Terra. I was thinking the Sandy Shocks is going to be attacking into that slot, and he just bolt switched. So, ooh, that is something that I was expecting to be... I was expecting to be another move. Thunderbolt, I guess, does make the most sense for the Sandy Shocks to be targeting into the Thunderous. But if he hit with anything else, then that would have been Enamorous gone. But we do see the Fluttermane, and we do see the Fluttermane still receiving the benefit of that Sun, but he would have had the booster energy either way. Now the thing is, the Squawk ability survive here and is able to set up a Tailwind. That's what I'm expecting to see. The problem is that I don't know. He has the Focus Sash, so he probably can set up a Tailwind. So what I'm expecting here is Tailwind plus Protect. But what is Coach Oboe going to do to counter that? And even with the Tailwind, I'm not sure there's enough firepower left to take out that Fluttermane, especially since Fluttermane's main the weakness, it's its defense stat. So that defense is kind of really bad, but the special defense is not too bad. We do know that it hits like a truck once again, taking out about half of the HP on that Squawk ability. And poor Squawk ability is weak to that Thunderbolt, so it's going to be going down here. Another KO for the Sandy Shocks, which has been putting a lot of work. It's been putting a lot of work in this match, especially taking out the Enamorous last time. Okay, but now we do see that the Photosynthesis wears off, but the booster energy coming in. Now, the thing is that I'm pretty sure that both the Thunderous and the Enamorous are going to be able to outspeed here, thanks to that Tailwind, even with the booster energy. But maybe not. It's going to depend a lot on the builds, whether the Fluttermane outspeeds or not. But again, we're looking at two Pokemon at full health, with the Thunderous already a little bit above half, and the Enamorous on his last legs. Those bullet punches did so much, even after the Terastallization, so that Scissor meant business. It was probably just like full out attack mode, even without even carrying an offensive item. Remember that the Scissor was actually carrying an Oka Berry. So I don't really see the Eerie Impulse going on the Fluttermane. Yes, that is going to help, but at the same time, the Enamorous is already at too low health. As we do see the Dazzling Gleam coming in, but another Dazzling Gleam fighting right back, and that is going to be enough to take out the Enamorous. Even at -2, that I'm thinking here whether it would have been better for Curse to try to boost up the Enamorous one more time before trying to land a hit on them. But it was a difficult situation regardless, because if he didn't do that, then the Fluttermane would have probably just KO'd both of them. And now the Fluttermane even outspeeding and getting a crit that was absolutely unnecessary. Fluttermane is such a beast. Fluttermane closes that out, and it's going to be a 2-0 win. Congratulations to the Seattle Sandstorm for taking this week's featured match. That's going to leave them with a record, starting out a hot streak right there, a record of 2 wins, 1 loss, while Curse is going to stay at no wins just yet. I believe in those Boston Red Claws, but thank you for joining us. We really hope that you enjoyed this set, and we will be seeing you again next week. So hope you're excited for that. My name is Salo, Solo Salo, and I will see you all on the next one.
All right, let's go ahead and break out the kill leaders of the current week. And this is cumulative. So week 3, these are all cumulative, not obviously one go. Coming in number 1, we have Landers Therian with 11 kills so far. Magirna following at number 2 with 10. Then we have Koraidon at 9 kills, followed by Kyogre, which has 8. Now from here we get a little bit close. King Gambit has 6, but then we have Knucklestack, Abomasnow, Crocodile, all of those which had 5, along with Braviary Hisuian. So again, from position 6 to 9, all of these mons have 5 kills. So again, that's Knucklestack at number 6, Abomasnow at number 7, Crocodile at number 8, and Braviary Hisuian at number 9. And wrapping things up, we have Gallade at number 10 with 4 kills. Again, these are your kill leaders for the current week. And it'll be interesting to see how we move forward from here. Again, that team from Nick, we were mentioning it earlier before. Nick has that Landorus and that Braviary up in this list. Again, that Lancing Leafeon's team, the strategy behind the team is the fact that every mon can kind of do its own thing and still be dangerous. Again, not analyzing the team too in depth, but again, that Landorus taking the victory here at number 1 is very interesting to see. Let's see if it could hold it up for next week as well. Moving on to some transactions, we actually have quite a few. Let me go ahead and open those up for you. Coming from the Spikemuth Pranksters. They're the only team that did transactions, and we're going to go ahead and see that they drop Torkoal and Drifloon to pick up Regidrago and Slowpoke. They drop off Delphox and pick up Clawitzer. So looking at the team comp now, they have the Magirna, the Annihilate, the Sableye, the Cleaver, the Jumpluff, the Thwackey, the Regidrago, the Donphan, the Clawitzer, and Slowpoke. I actually like this team a lot more. The reason why I like the team is it had Torkoal before, which kind of benefit from the sun. Obviously benefits from the sun, but boosts Jumpluff that both benefit from the sun. But the problem with that, I think for me personally as a player, would be that, you're also making Magirna weaker because your opponents also benefit from the sun if they have fire type or fire move. So again, I think I like this move better. Regidrago is already very scary. But the fact that you have a Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Magirna and Regidrago alone is great. You don't really need to worry about a fire like a fire Pokemon to get your water, fire, grass core just because Terra types. But the fact that you do have a natural core of those 3, the Fairy Dragon Steel, it's really good. And it's a really good core too. Annihilate is still always a threat. Sableye is a really good Prankstermon. Jumpluff is really good for Tailwind redirection. So again, I like this team comp a lot better. And Thwackey is obviously there to kind of get that grassy terrain going and whatnot. Again, I think the transactions here are really good. They're left with one transaction though, one free agent transaction. Again, you can trade coach to coach as many times as you want, but the free agency, they only have one left. So it'll be interesting to see if they do any more before the trade deadline, which is at week 7. And then wrapping things off, let's go ahead and talk about the current division standings. Based off of today's match, we have in the orange division, the Seattle Sandstorm rocking 4 wins, 2 losses, 17 kills, 17 deaths. They are even. Coming in at the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils, we have 3 wins, 4 losses, 9 kills, 19 deaths. They're making some steady progress. They're still in the running. So again, sleeper team as always, the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils. Then we have the Flying Dutchmans coming at 3 and 5, 17 kills, 18 deaths. Riolu's Rangers coming in at 2 and 4, 13 and 13, and Little Rock Lucario's 0 and 6, 7 and 24. Again, we kind of have the highlights here. So if the season were to end today, the Riolu's Rangers and Little Rock Lucarios would not make playoffs. So that's why they're highlighted a different color. Moving over to the Violet Division, we have the Cleveland Celebi, which are still undefeated. 6 wins, 0 losses, 24 kills, 8 deaths, currently dominating the entire league. Obviously first place in the Violet Division. The Lancing Leafeons only have that 1 loss there. So they have 6 wins, 1 loss, 26 kills, 16 deaths. They'd be up in top based on kills and obviously win-loss. But that would be the differential at that point. But they do have that 1 loss, so they're at 2nd place. Coming in number 3, we have the Spikemuth Pranksters at 4 and 2. They're rocking 18 kills, 12 deaths. And then we have the Kent Cloths dropping. Again, if the season ended today, the Kent Cloths would not make it. Again, that was a team that was highly regarded at the beginning of the season. We had them at number 1 in the power rankings up until last week. Again, if you want to see the power rankings, stay tuned to Twitter within the next coming days. We've decided to kind of keep it on Twitter just because it's a little bit more fun that way. And then we have the Boston Red Claws, my team, rocking a 0 and 6, 10 kills, 24 deaths. Will I get a win? I don't know, but we'll figure it out. We'll try to make it work. That's it for today's Friday Night Draft League. Catch you guys next week where I'll be commentating the match between Solo Salo, the Cuernavaca Cyndaquils, and King with the Spike Mouth Pranksters. Take it easy. Peace.